Welcome to CyberMaterial's Ask Me Anything Cyber, a fun, interactive weekly event for everything cybersecurity. Join us every week at noon Eastern Time for a high-energy, quick-hit recap of the week's biggest cyber stories, from data breaches and threat intel to major legal updates. Whether it's a high-profile hack, a new APT on the rise, or a must-attend summit, we've got it covered. But that's not all. We'll also break down the latest job market trends, share our thoughts on cyber stocks, and give you actionable insights to stay ahead. And of course, we wrap things up with what makes this show special: live Q&A with you. Have a question about a breach? Want to know how a threat works? Curious about getting started in cyber? Let us know and we'll answer it live. Without further ado, let's get this event started.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ask Me Anything Cyber Live. Today's session is going to be Love, Lies, and AI. Valentine's week is here, and we are all going to talk about love, lies, AI, and romance scams. And today's topic kind of sits in the intersection of technology, psychology, and even manipulation. And we are going to talk and discuss about how AI is being used for deepfake fraud and emotional exploitation that can take a toll on a lot of people. I am Prapti, social media manager at CyberMaterial, and I will be co hosting with none other than Sophie. Hi, Sophie, how are you doing today?
Hi everyone, how are you? Happy Valentine's week and day.
Yeah, and so are you excited to talk about the behind the scenes and talk about, from your perspective, how
Yeah,
the romance scam and the romance scam industry works?
yeah, and actually, I'm happy because today is gonna be like a practical conversation. So we're not gonna like only to be talking about like threats. We're gonna be like breaking down how they actually work, how they are creating these AI images like behind the scenes, what type of software they're using, and most importantly, how to protect yourself and your loved ones from these type of scams, and what tools you can actually teach your loved ones on how to use on how to protect themselves and how to detect these type of scams.
Yeah, and we For the audience who have joined us, we truly hope that you share this with your loved ones and you make them aware of what to look for. So go ahead and share this with as many people as you can to make them aware. And for those of you watching us right now live on Substack, LinkedIn, have you ever received something suspicious, maybe a direct message, a DM, something that felt real? Or if you would be able to recognize a deep fake if you saw one, if you know any of that, go ahead, we have the poll open. Answer us live right now, and we would like to know what your thoughts are about it. So Sophie, based on what you see in real cases and how AI changed the way romance scams happens, like how did AI change it?
Yeah, I mean, what I usually see in these cases is like um, AI has changed the way like romance scams happen because like scammers they do have like to tools right now. So when they have like their like very easy access to different tools that are available even for free,
Yeah,
these type of scams they turn into like very like easy like low hanging fruit, you know. And when I see like in real cases, romance scams they have become more convincing and scalable because of these free tools
yeah,
available or even like very low cost tools, I can say. So now most of the scammers they are using AI generated images, or they are using deepfake videos to create fake profiles that they look and they sound real, and they can even like mimic someone's voice for a voice call, or like a WhatsApp like voice audio.
yeah,
And so these help the scammer build trust very quickly, and it means that the victim will be able to be easily manipulated, and they will be like very like a way to convince them like faster than ever before.
yeah.
So it's not just emails or text messages. These has become like immersive experiences right now.
Yeah, and you just spoke about deep fake, and even like I think there's a word for this. I think vishing, but vishing would
Mhm.
refer to like phishing voicemails, but this is like using voice to like lure somebody into a trap and make them fall for this type of scam. But are you seeing deepfake video calls being used, like because they are so easy to create?
Yeah, I mean, there has been like documented like actions on deepfake video calls that are actually
Hmm.
being used on scams right now. We're gonna be talking about later on how it happened to someone. So it's not just theoretical right now. It's not far-fetched, I can say.
Yeah,
Now it's like something that is happening right now. There are people that have been fallen victims in 2025 of these type of attacks where they're like documented financial scams where attackers they use deepfake videos and voice cloning and video calls to
yeah,
impersonate like trusted people. For example, they can use your mom's voice to trick you into wiring her some money because uploaded a video online. They cloned her voice and they would be able to like extract that information. And there have been like also research of like real-time fake swapping technology. This has been used for by the tech support scam by the North
yeah,
actors where they use the face swap real time to trick employers. This also has been used scams. So we've seen that it's not just like personal phone calls that they are using right now where a scammer is calling themselves on the phone. They're just using like fake deep voice audio.
yeah. And to just know more, I think we have even like created an example video of what it looks like and how
Mhm.
easy it is to create these type of videos. So let's just quickly look at it.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Mike Sanders from the U.S. Navy. I'm not a real person, but your grandma might think I am. Scammers use fake profiles, fake photos, and even AI-generated videos to build trust. They don't ask for money at first. They start by listening, showing attention, and creating emotional bonds. Weeks later, they ask for money, claiming emergencies. Millions of people, especially seniors, lose their life savings this way. And with AI, scams are more convincing than ever. If this fooled you for a moment, Imagine someone lonely falling for it. Talk to your loved ones. Real love never asks for money in secret. Awareness is protection.
This video was created using AI to demonstrate how easily people can be deceived online. The person, story, and scenario shown are entirely fictional.
So
Yeah.
as you just saw here, like it's surprisingly easy to create a convincing AI persona. Even like it could fool someone that like as someone that you trust, like for example your grandma, as it's saying the AI right here, because most of the cases we've seen was between like U.S. forces deployed overseas and tricking like women, senior women in the U.S. So once the scammer like have your trust, they start escalating the interaction, they build this emotional connection, they test the boundaries, and eventually they ask for money.
Yeah, and I think like that last phase, before that last phase, there is a lot of emotional games going on, a lot of trust building going on, and then they ask for the money, and then sooner or later, everything goes so far that A, you're emotionally invested, and B, you're also financially invested.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, Sophie, so what does a typical escalation look like in these type of scams?
So in real cases, when we see these type of like the typical escalation, how it looks like, there's a pattern, right? When there's an AI or a deep fake involved. So for example, the scammer, they will create a fake profile. It could be AI generated photo, or it could be scrapped from the internet from somebody that actually exists, and they reach out usually via like dating apps or social media, or sometimes via email, and their early communication, I can say, is often like slow, emotional. So they're trying to create this bond, like this trust between intimacy and and confidential. Like you feel like confidential to this person. So they share like personal stories. Sometimes it could be like AI generated to give proof of identity. For example, hi, I'm deployed overseas, I'm very tired, or it's been really rough on us, or they try to create this like fake story so they can actually connect with the victim.
Yeah.
And these deepfake videos, calls, or AI generation generated voice messages, they may be feel the victim that this is real, right? So they go with the goal is number one will be like psychological, it could be like the emotional attachment, and the victim starts seeing them as a real and trustworthy, and that's when it comes like the next step, which is the emergency, right?
Yeah.
So all scams, they're connected to a final goal, which is like the emergency, like the fast reaction thing
Mm-hmm.
that um has been going around forever, right? As
Yeah.
humans
We
have
spoke
relations.
about it.
Yes. So this the urgency is like paired with AI. It goes like well elaborated scam, and and that's one of the red flags that we always talk about, like when there's urgency, right? So
Yeah.
that's when these, like this is like escalation thing. And sometimes most of the scams, they play the card on something specific happened, like medical emergency, or you're
Mm-hmm.
stuck abroad, or there's like specific issue regarding, I don't know, like wire transferring situation, like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
stuck in
Something
this specific country, I can get my money, like they always play with this sort of
idea.
weird
Yeah.
real life scenarios, but not that real. So and we have also like created a few samples on how to show you how this works.
Exactly.
Yeah, so let's watch it.
Hi, my love. I missed you so much. We have a terrible internet connection today, and it was very hard to get back to you. See you soon, babe. Hi, my love. I missed you so much. We have a terrible internet connection today, and it was very hard to get back to you. See you soon, babe.
Hi, babe. So sorry to bother. Today's just been rough. I miss home a lot. They still haven't paid us because of the government shutdown, and honestly, I don't really know what to do anymore. I hate even asking this, but you're the only person I trust. If there's any way you could wire me some money today, I really hate asking. I'll pay you back as soon as I can, I swear. I love you and stay safe. Send you the details on WhatsApp.
This video was created using AI to demonstrate how easily people can be deceived online. The person, story, and scenario shown are entirely fictional.
So what we can see here is like how like we can notice how like gradual it is. So this scam isn't like a one single message, right? Asking for the money right away. It's like carefully paced sequence, like small favor, emotional hookup, financial request. That's why I always say like awareness is like the number one thing, and verification is the number one step towards like not falling victim of a romance scam.
Yeah, and that was like a step by step escalation that we just saw. Everything is going well, they're staying connected, and then, it escalated into something. And then they are now saying that they don't like the fact that they're asking them for money, but they have to because that's the only person they trust, which is something, a kind of emotional game they play to get these, type of traps in. So what
Every
are the key?
cyber attack has a face, from malware and scams to the
Yes.
Mm.
So what are the type of key warning signs people should look for, early on before it gets to the point of financial loss?
Yeah, so absolutely what I agree what you're saying is true. This is like a step-by-step escalation, I can say.
Yeah.
So the key warning signs usually appear very early, often before money is ever involved. So first, for example, there's urgent or overly intense emotional pressure. So if
Yeah.
someone is pushing you to act quickly or keep things like in secret, that's a red flag. And second, for example, if they request like a small favor or like personal information, this is how scammer test trust. So before asking money, they say, "Hey, can you do this for me very quick? I don't know.
Mm.
Can you verify this information for me?" So they are testing the victim how far they can go. So it's sort of like they are luring the
Yeah.
victim into their, and then when you have to like before it gets to the point, you need to like check for inconsistencies in their story or online
Mm-hmm.
presence. So profiles with few connections, recycled photos, or mismatched details, they are often there. Like scammers, I can say most of them they operate, I can say individually.
Yeah.
So it's not like a network of
Yeah,
well
especially these type
oiled.
of romance scammers.
Exactly. So there's always some red like flags, I can say, or some errors or mistakes they make. But it's up to the victim to actually like be aware of how to detect this. And this is what we're here for today, to actually help you understand that this exists and how they get to you. So the
Yeah.
moment like somebody notice one of these signs, what I always recommend is like verify, step back, and skepticism is your best defense here.
Yeah, especially when meeting somebody new and meeting somebody online who you do not really know through a person or know yourself. The first thing that you should be is be a little skeptic about it. I'm not saying that no, do not go find love out there this Valentine's Day, but be aware of what's going on out there. And so to go back to talking to you people, and we have a poll going on right now. Have you ever received a suspicious DM that felt real, or would you recognize a deep fake if you saw one? So, if you ever have, felt like it has been creeping up on you, go ahead and tell us your stories. We are here to listen to you. And speaking about stories, we're going to talk about some real life incidents that has happened in 2025. Actually, a case that can honestly like fool a lot of people, and I hope from today's session it is a little less. There was this woman in US who believed she was in a romantic relationship with like a well-known TV actor, Steve Burton. This wasn't just like text messages and flirting or just emails. She actually received videos, voice notes, and what felt like, personal interactions. Over time, she spent about $80,000 and even sold her personal assets, and only found out much, much later that the person that she loved and thought about so much did not even exist. And, I saw the video clips of her talking about it. And what stuck with me the most was that she had created a bond with this person and it felt very real to her.
Yeah, and this is what it's like. What make these scams like so dangerous? Because it's not just like about the money; it's about like how convincing the emotional connection feels. So we know that AI can now create voices, faces, even messages that feel personal. So even like careful, intelligent people can be fooled. So the trick isn't that the victim missed obvious like red flags; it's that the scams they get real, like step by step. So now we don't see that this sloppy like English or like a bad pronunciation.
Yeah.
So this gets very real. So we're seeing this like first-handed with these type of samples. So what we have here is like deepfake like video lowers skepticism because when you see a person's face and hear the person's voice, it makes it feel real. So our brains are wired to trust what we see and hear. So even if something seems like logical, the visual and auditory cues can override this caution, right? So emotional trust in this case overrides logic. So if you're like receiving like videos or even like using voice messages over WhatsApp or any social media, and you feel like that there's a real person behind that, and they're building a relationship with you. They are mirroring your emotions. They are sharing
Yeah.
details that they find online about you, and they create this intimacy that it's very human and.
Yeah.
The connection makes it like incredible hard to think that rationally, like when the scam starts escalating. And when you are in that position, it's so hard to move away from that and say, what is happening? And they target specific people, which are like senior citizens that may
Mm-hmm.
be alone, they may be lonely, divorced, widowed, or they may be like in a home care
Yeah.
facility. So these are like easy target victims that is not their fault. Is that these things are getting more and more convincing with the tools that we have right now.
Yeah. And, I have even, to make things more convincing, I've even seen cases where the romance scammer would initially invest, like send a gift or help the victim in some way and build that trust factor and then slowly exploit. And the issue is that when people hear romance scams, there is still this assumption that victims ignored obvious red flags. But
Hmm.
in this case, the one that we just heard about, the Steve Burton and the woman who got scammed, the scammer didn't just claim to be someone, they showed up as somebody, like you mentioned, visually and
Hmm.
even audibly.
Yeah,
So,
and we do have a question here from the audience that I would like to bring up because
yeah,
I feel like it's very like noteworthy, I can say, because in this case this person is asking like the dating apps are doing
yeah,
enough? Are they doing enough to integrate AI detection tools, or is the burden entirely on the user right now? So I would love to break down this a little bit because I
yeah.
love this perspective, Tani. So thank you so much. Like it's almost like driving a car too, the manufacturers they will put all the protections, but at the end of the day it's always the driver that is responsible for is what is happening. The
Mm-hmm.
same is with the dating apps. So when you're getting your driver license, you go through a 5-hour course, you go through the exam, the test, and everything, so you are prepared on how to operate this machine. We don't have that for dating apps or social
Mm-hmm.
media. So users are like there there's no education for them on how to interact with this. So somehow the burden is on these like dating apps or social media apps on how to protect the users, but also on the other hand is also on the user hand. Now, I can say there are several dating apps that are trying to fight fake AI generated profiles, but right now the users still shoulder a lot of burden because, like Tinder or Hinge or OkCupid, which are all owned by the same group, they
Yeah.
have these internal tools that they are like machine learning systems that they flag suspicious behavior and they try to remove the bots and scam. Though there's having a lot of lawmakers that they've been pressing Match Group to explain how effective they implement these AI like fake generated tools to detect them. But for example, on the other hand, you have Bumble. They have taken a more public stance in building like AI features. They call it deception detector. So they
Yeah.
actually have an inbuilt tool that automatically like catches and blocks spam or fake profiles, and it's now like I can say it's now letting users um, report profiles suspected of using AI generated photos or videos. And Badu, which is part of the same family as Bumble, they are using the same technology to fight the threat actors. So while we wait for Praptik to come back, I think she's back here. You're back, right? Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know what is happening today with the internet
I don't
connection.
know.
Are we having
Um,
the same issue as these soldier overseas?
I don't know.
Right?
And will the viewers know what this is? We
We are
don't
not
know.
deepfakes. We swear.
Yes,
So
this is real.
yeah, and but that said, none of these systems are perfect. Detection tools can miss some bad actors, and sometimes legit users they get flagged by AI, which it happens a lot. So there's still like a real burden on the users to stay vigilant, to verify identities, and to report suspicious accounts. And as we know, technology is always evolving, so we may expect in the future new tools that will be combating these type of AI threats. But I love your
Yes.
question, Tani. I hope we answered that for you.
Yeah, that was actually a very fresh perspective, especially to talk about dating apps and if they are doing enough or not. And also, I would like to mention one more thing that if you find something, let's say you're scrolling through a dating app and you find a profile that seems suspicious, you can always report it, I think, on these apps. So make sure that you report it so that other people don't fall for it. And it has, it is sooner or later taken into notice and the profile is taken down. So do your best. And like Sophie mentioned, there is actually no practice test for this. You're out there and you have to do this by yourself with all of these security regulations. Hopefully, things will be getting better for everybody. Uh, Now, another thing, we're going to talk about the UK musician's face and voice that was being used in a romance scam. And this happened in 2026. And this gives another, like, it's like flip around of the first story. Because in this story, the musician discovered that her face and her voice was being used by scammers out there, bunch of scammers, not just one, without her knowledge, to manipulate other people. And she wasn't the victim of the scam financially, but her identity became the face of the scam. And it kind of aims towards reputational damage. And it shows that anybody can become a part of it even without participating. And you just need to have like content or a presence online, and it can be misused.
Yeah, yeah, and what I agree with that is like in this case, it's worth noting that this story is not coming from the financial victim, like the victim that lost financially,
Yeah.
but it's coming actually from the person who was actually impersonated. So this is coming from the musician whose likeness was being used for a romance scam. So even though she didn't lose the money, her identity became the tool of the scam, and that makes her a victim too. So in this case, it was not an AI generated image or
Yeah.
likeness or profile. It was actually her image that was used in a deep fake video to lure victims into giving money to the scammers. So
Yeah.
this is a different level. So we will have shown before was uh, an AI generated image that was turned into an AI generated video
Yeah.
of someone, a fake persona. So we didn't use any real image of anybody. However, the two previous cases, they use real pictures of real
Mm-hmm.
people. And what
Yeah.
happens here is like the first case that we had, it was for Steve Burton, which was like, General Hospital actor, very famous. So they use his likeness to fool a victim to give away $80,000 or more. Now, the second case, this is a famous
Musician, UK
yeah,
musician.
musician, yes. And she said that they've been using her like this to create AI videos about her to get people like into tricking them into giving money. There were not actual victims, financial victims involved. There were this victim that it was her
Yeah.
that her likeness was used. So this is like two different cases with the same end to trick victims into giving away money. Now, what is the scary part about this? Is that scammers, they can scrape public videos, they can clone video
Yeah.
voices in just a few seconds, and they can learn everything from you from social media. So that means that anyone's identity out there, it's a risk. Even us
Yeah.
right now, we are just like creating this YouTube video or live streaming video, and people are looking at us. They can clone our voice, they can clone our faces, and they can trick anybody saying, "Hey, we got property," or "I just
Yeah.
yeah, she's DMing me right now." That's so cool, right? Well,
Yeah.
it's not us. It's somebody that is using our likeness to trick them.
Yep.
Yes.
Don't get any
So
ideas.
just be assured that I will never ask for money, guys, for to anybody. So
Yeah.
if at some point in my life somebody's asking money with my face, it's not me.
There are like certain telltales as well that we will discuss later, if you can spot that if it's AI or deepfake. But as I mentioned earlier, we do have an ongoing poll if you would be able to recognize a deepfake from a real one. So go ahead and leave your answers, and we are very eager to hear your stories. And also, one more thing about this entire UK musician incident is that
Mhm.
it made it more believable because A, this person is real, and B, everybody would like, if somebody, a musician texted me, I would be like, wow, a musician is texting me, this is so amazing. And I think that happiness will like somehow take control, and people will not see the the issue behind it, the holes in the story behind it. So that's another problem in this type of thing. And in both the cases that we saw, the first, the AI is used to create a believable
Yeah.
person, and the second, the AI being used to hijack a real one. And emotional damage or even reputational damage preceded the financial loss. And that's actually really alarming.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like these are like rare cases. So the numbers of incidents, they are rising, and mostly they go underreported, as you mentioned before. So the shame often keeps the victim from seeking help, and by the time the scam is discovered, the emotional, reputational harm is done, and law enforcement can rarely do anything because
Yeah.
victims, they don't always like want to report it, they feel ashamed. So it's usually like a loved one that reports these type of scams when they find out, and it's very hard to make them understand that they were being fooled, because nobody wants to actually like face that reality, right? So these are so sensitive and they're so common, and that's why they keep happening. And in my experience, the way to fight this is early awareness and verification, which is more important than ever.
Yeah. And I think it is about time that we accept that scams are getting more and more sophisticated, and verification is the must have primary step. So the question becomes, how do regular people protect themselves? Let's say someone sends a picture of themselves. What do we do after that?
So the first step I can say is, if you receive a DM, is like, don't get too excited. Just verify. Even like a single photo can tell you a lot if you check it carefully. So simple tools can help you reveal where this picture has been taken or if this picture has been recycled. And as a user of the web, verification should become a habit so you can catch potential scams before they escalate. So if you receive this unsolicited message from someone who looks very charming or interesting, the first tool is always to be skeptical. So teach your loved ones to be very skeptical in how to reply to these people, how to interact with them, because nobody out of the blue will reach out to you just to hang out with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I always say this. Wow, like people may say like, wow, I'm in luck, like especially like around times like some Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
We see like emotions are very heightened right now, so the scammers, they rely on that specific I can say time of the year to like pick interest and excitement and curiosity. So, and I always say this, like long distance relationships, they are a common playground for these type of scams. Sometimes meeting the person once can reveal red flags and even save you thousands of dollars if you actually set up for a date to meet this
Yeah.
person. But even then, of course, meeting someone in person, you need to be very careful as well. Always meet them in public spaces, tell someone you trust where you're going, and
Yeah.
consider sharing your location. We've seen like cases of like predators meeting teens like in prison. So there's a slippery slope also to meet someone that
Meeting.
can,
Yeah.
yeah. So on one hand, meeting someone in prison can help you fight the deep fake situation. It can lead to other
Yeah.
crimes.
Yes.
So it's very important that, but even that before they ask for money, always remember they will be testing your trust, they will be building this connection, watching how you respond. And there's this type of like uh scam call centers where like there's thousands
Hmm.
of people operating at one place doing these type of scams. So
Yeah.
they are having education on how to scam people, but not regular people are not having education on how to fight this. So
Yeah.
that is something that we need to consider for our population on how to educate them and how to detect these type of scams. And that's why we're here today. So we're going to be showing you on how to like detect these scams and small tools that can help you
Yeah.
save a bad day.
Yeah, and these tools, I'm pretty sure that we can actually just, it's a quick Google search away. So if you're somebody who has, you know, a computer, a mobile, you can just quickly look up everything over here that Sophie mentions and do a step by step and figure out if at least get to some conclusion if the person is real or not.
So what we did is that we took a screenshot of the picture of of um, of the scam that we talked about before, the lady that was
Yeah,
scammed by Steve.
Steve.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and we took a picture of him and we uploaded to image reverse search from Google, which is very easy. You just go to google.com, and when you get the search bar, you will have the option to upload a picture. You can see here on the screen, there's a camera icon, and it's very straightforward. You just click there, you upload a picture. We took a picture of the actual deepfake video scam. And when we click, we found the actual footage of the podcast of Steve Burton that he posted on his social media. So we can find that he was a celebrity because the victim didn't know he was actual a celebrity. It was not that she was thinking that Steve Burton was actually texting her. The scammers were using his likeness because he was all over the place on the internet, so they were able to use it. So just a small like Google search was able to find a picture of the guy that they were actually using his picture.
Yeah.
So that was like pretty quick. And of course, you need someone to actually help you um, on um, on how to understand how this technology works, because it's not that easy to actually understand. But It's just you upload a picture and you will find some data, and maybe you will need like someone that can help you understand and how to like
Yeah.
read these data. So we are showing you here the results are right away, and you can see the actual footage.
Yeah. And sometimes I think it would also help that whenever you're putting in the image, you can also type, like, Sophie has over here, is this person real? That sometimes if you don't get any search result, you can try a few different other ways and you can still get to a conclusion if the person that you're thinking of having a romantic connection with is real
Hmm.
or not.
Yeah,
So,
and sometimes like you can accompany that reversed image with a word. For example, is this a real person or is this AI? So when you put
mhm.
the image, you can actually put more content so it can help you contextualize that specific image.
Exactly. And I think there was another way that we were talking about where we can actually figure out if a person is real or not. Like if we can just go and ask in AI that is there any signs? So do we have that?
I'm sorry,
Do
can
we
you
have
repeat
that
it?
slide on screen
Oh,
where we
yes.
asked?
Let's see.
Yes,
Yes. Yeah. So we also did a reverse image search of the AI generated video we created
that we had
before,
earlier. Yeah.
and it's recognized it as an AI generated image. And here's why: because we use Nano Banana to create the image of the soldier. And what we did is like we gave a prompt to Nano Banana and said, create an image of a U.S. Navy soldier. He's a lieutenant. His name is Mike Sanders, and he looks like in the mid 40s, 50s, and it looks like he was deployed abroad, right overseas. Now we got that image, and from that, and said, okay, create around 10 more image of this U.S. soldier in different setups, different perspectives. We can say like a different profile, smiling, crying, different facial gestures. And from there, we generated the AI video with all these avatars. But using a reverse image search with Gemini, I was able to detect why this was an AI generated picture. And we can see
Mm-hmm.
here, it says, it looks an AI generated video because of a high quality digital render, though it is accurate U.S. military uniform as a
Mm-hmm.
reference. Although he's wearing a U.S. Navy as a service member, like which is a khaki uniform. However, the insignia used, such as the U.S. color pins that is wearing here,
Yeah.
they belong to the aviator wings of the U.S. Air Force or U.S. Army. So the sloppiness of the AI, which scammers may not be aware of that small detail.
Yeah.
Another AI was able to detect that there was an issue with the image.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was a real US soldier, it wouldn't have the wrong color pins, right? But
Yes.
in this case, he was having the US Air Force color pins. So it looked like the AI generated a US soldier and took the concept of US soldier and forgot about the Navy part or the Army part or the
Mm-hmm.
US Air Force part and sort of put it together. So we do have a question on LinkedIn. And it says, what is the likelihood of using AI to detect AI generated content? We do have proof here that an AI, which is in this case Gemini, was able to detect another AI image generated by Nano Banana, and it was able to tell us what were the breaking points on how they detected this image. So I'm not sure if we're ready, uh, to detect videos yet with AI, because still, like, there are some characteristics that AIs are not ready to process, maybe computing power or whatever, like data
Yeah.
or information. But images, as far as I can tell, and a real life example that we have right here on screen, is that yes, an AI will be able to detect it was an AI generated image. Now,
Yeah.
AIs are getting better. And if I would have been like, if this scammer would have been doing this specific type of scam, probably they would have uploaded this to Google to find any like inconsistencies.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they would have been able to solve it to avoid
Getting caught.
like
Yeah.
the mismatch of U.S. uniforms, U.S. Soldiers' uniforms. So it depends on how far the scammer is willing to go, right? So
Yeah.
if it's just like a whole elaborate scheme and they go through every detail, I'm not sure how far AI will be able to detect any issues. But there's always sloppiness on AI that sometimes human eye may be able to overlook and another AI
Exactly.
may be able to catch, just as in this
Yeah.
case.
Thank you so much, Dr. Avi Chaudhary, for leaving the question. It's really great seeing you here on our LinkedIn chat. To our other viewers watching, go ahead and leave your questions. We will answer them right away. Sophie, you deal with these things every day and you also do a lot of research work. Can you share with us what percentage of romance scam reuse stolen photos?
Yeah, I mean, there's no specific number I can say because, like, it's very hard to pin down how many scams are going out there because people are not reporting enough. However, it's there's been some research about like 70 to 80% of romance scams they reuse stolen or recycled photos because the scammers they don't want to risk to create a new identity from scratch, because when you have like stories out there for free on social media, like people posting, they don't need to come up with a story, they don't need to come up with like a
Mm-hmm.
life situation, daily life activities. They just mimic what happened to another person and they just go for it. And so it's hard to actually say like they create 100% fake persona. So they may use the likeness of a real person to come up with the scams, and they use the real stories of this person. However, as we've seen with the other cases that we talked before, they use their likeness to create a new story or to ask for money or to create deep fake voices or AI
Mm-hmm.
generated voice from these humans, real humans.
Yeah. And have you seen any cases where, just a quick basic reverse image search could have prevented it from escalating further?
Yeah, we just did it here live. We done it. We did an image like a very basic reverse image search, and it's very, I can say it's effective at catching this early because in many cases if you're using the real likeness of a persona, it will pop up all the social media content of the other person. So if you're talking to, I don't know, Carol, and when you Google or you do a reverse image search of this
Yeah.
person and the name is Kelly, you are like, there's something weird here happening.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot of like percentage where people can like,
Just de-escalate
yeah,
situations by the quick
yeah.
Google image search. And
But
this
they need to know that these tools exist. So we're here to tell them
exactly.
that they do.
And that's actually a great thing because go ahead and share this with people in your family, especially the seniors in your family, because we know for a fact that they might not be that tech savvy. So it's easier for you to tell them and make them aware about these things so that, you can actually help them in such cases. We have a question coming in on LinkedIn, and I really like all of the places we are going. Is it ethical to design AI that encourages emotional attachment?
That's a really like a really important question, and it comes down to what do you do for a living. I mean, if you're a scammer, he wouldn't like really care about like ethical, like crossing the line. But in my personal opinion, it cross an ethical line very quickly because designing AI to like deliberately encourage emotional attachment, especially when users don't fully understand how this machine works, it creates this power imbalance that we know. So
Hmm.
people they project trust, like they project this intimacy into something that it doesn't have any human accountability. So they're like ethical use cases like companionship tools for mental health support or accessibility or translators. But the key difference is consent and transparency. So when you are knowing that it's AI and you understand the limits and you have control, that's a very different thing from AI designs to manipulate emotions for profit or influence or fraud. So it becomes unethical when it crosses this barrier of like emotional attachment
Hmm.
without the consent of the and and it steers the behavior of the victim to spend money, to share personal information, and to replace this human relationship without the safeguards. So that's exactly where when we need the regulators here and ethicists, I can say, to push these boundaries between creating AI generated content for mental health with the consent of the patient, or creating AI generated content to create emotional attachment
Yeah.
for fraud or financial motivation. So the question isn't just like, can we building? It's
Mhm.
like, should we? And what are the rules for this? So
Yeah.
I send the question back to you. Like, what are the rules to build this? Should we build this type of AI models like that may cross the AI ethical
Yeah.
line for us?
And this seems like a very sci-fi question. So actually, there are a couple of movies that you can also watch that asks
Yes.
and projects this same question:
Yes.
that what are the boundaries, what is crossing, what consent really is in these cases. And hopefully, if we ever get there in the future, we are able to deal with this
Yeah.
better. We have strict rules and regulations, and everybody agrees with what is happening. So hopefully, wherever we go, we are going to be safe and secure online. And technology is getting better, and I think that urgency is an attacker's like greatest weapon. But also, are there any visible signs? I talked about this before, that we will talk about any visible signs that a person can look at and say, yeah, this video is AI.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few things that can tip you off. Even if the AI gets more sophisticated, you'll still see some lip sync issues.
Mm-hmm.
Although they are like, if those are the ones generated by an AI, specifically like a machine, then you have those that they use the other likeness of a person and they do a face swap. So everything really matches the gestures and everything. So there's two different things, like depending on who your scammer is,
Mm-hmm.
and if the tool they are using, sometimes you can see some delay on the lip syncing, or just the lips moving and the rest of the face is not moving.
Yeah.
But there's also some audio anomalies. The voice may be a little bit flat or monotony or slightly robotic, I can say.
Mm-hmm.
And also background inconsistencies, like maybe an object is fell out of place, or like you have something in the background that sort of overlaps with the shoulder. Yeah, like there are a few things that you can still detect. However, don't rely on those. AI is getting so much better, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard to actually give you like tip off as I was able to give it to you 2 years ago, because I've seen the effects like crazy. Like there's no way
Mm-hmm.
you can actually know it's not a real person. And even though you are like watching frame by frame, you still don't find any mistake. um, but there's still a few stuff, but don't rely on them.
Yeah, and I actually saw like a video, and it was like a background had cyber trivia written, and the video was AI generated. So she was standing in front of the word E of cyber, and when she moved her head in the video, you can see it changed into cyber. So
Hmm.
that's like something that you can do to spot these things. But as Sophie mentioned, and I think within the next 2 to 3 years, what are your thoughts, Sophie? What scares you the most from a responder view? Is it the fact that it is so advanced and is going to get more advanced that
Yeah.
spotting these tiny details are going to get difficult?
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, the scams are going to get even more. AI is getting better, creating realistic faces, voices, and even interactive conversations. Like you can have like a full conversation with an AI, like
Mm-hmm.
even reasoning like a real person. So these scams are going to they're going to feel harder to detect. So right now, the red flag is not going to be on the technology. Like if you see a lip syncing or audio like mismatch or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but it's going to be on the urgency. So it's going to be like the technique they use into learning you. So it's going to be the urgency that you find. So we may be able to use AI to interact on our daily lives. We may have an Optimus robot at home. We can talk to him and everything fine. But when you see this AI is turning into the urgency part of things, that's the red flag. Not
Mm-hmm.
the technology itself, but the technique they're going to be using. So those are the things that we need to teach people: urgency, fast, do it now, trust at the level that it becomes so integral, a part of you, that
Mm-hmm.
you will need to step back and say, you know what, this is a scam because there's urgency to it. So
Yep.
it's like the old scam way of things working, because uh, scams have always worked with the urgency factor. So that's the only thing that we may be able to detect right now.
Yeah, and so the lesson here is if someone is pressuring you, isolating you, or pushes you into like a financial secrecy, please pause, verify, and take a step back. Use this video, share this video, and tell your seniors, especially, to beware of these things. And before we move into the cyber briefing recap, we are moving into something new today, actually, that Sophie will be talking about with us. But before that, let's watch a quick video.
The actors behind them. Every cyber attack has a face, from malware and scams to the actors behind them. Know your enemy. Stay one step ahead.
So, in this segment, we're going to talk about and break down the active threats that are currently circulating in cybersecurity. So, Sophie, what or which threat actor is making a lot of noise out there?
So I know we've been talking about romance scams, but we know they're like lonely cyber criminals, not associated with an enterprise or a known threat actor per se. They're just like sometimes lone wolves. So it was very hard for us to find a known your enemy related to romance scams per se, with a specific name, with a
Mm-hmm.
specific modus operandi. But I wanted to talk about know your enemy because I have all of you here watching, and most of you are cybersecurity professionals. And this is an enterprise, a threat actor called Shiny Hunters. So we
Yeah.
created a fact sheet, and this is a cyber criminal group that's been active since 2020. Was the first time it was detected. They are known for data theft and extortion. They target SaaS platforms, consumer services, and cloud environments. And one of the most recent attacks that it happened last month, it was the Panera Bread breach. There were around like 40 million customers' records that were exposed, and they included names, email, phone numbers, addresses, account details. And what they use for the SSO abuse, they combine it with voice phishing, which is called
Mm-hmm.
phishing. So it's one of the techniques that also romance scams use,
Use,
which
yeah.
is the phishing techniques. So in this case, they use it to extract data. And what was the impact here? Because there was a potential identity theft, fraud, reputational damage for the company and the users, and of course, fines, regulatory risk. Their motivation was clear, it was financial gain and data exposure. And they operate globally. They target countries like the US, Indonesia, India, Australia, the UK, across Europe. And they touch any type of sector: technology, e commerce, education, media, telecommunication. And they implement very, very straightforward tactics. They use social engineering and phishing to steal fake credentials. They use
Mm-hmm.
SSO exploitation to get access to multiple SaaS platforms. They use cloud and SaaS data theft, moving laterally to steal valuable data. Data extortion, threatening to publish stolen data unless a ransom is paid.
Mm-hmm.
And they have shifted from simple dumping stolen data publicly to directly extortion. So they are like upgrading their game right now, and they are exploiting third-party SaaS relationships. They combine technology compromise with psychological pressure, with vishing, and so on and so forth. So this is like a very sophisticated and dangerous threat actor. Now, Shiny Hunters isn't just stealing data right now, they are targeting identities, systems to create leverage, and their attacks
Mm-hmm.
can impact not only the individual but also large organizations. So, knowing their methods is critical to defending against them.
Yep. And also, the fact that they also use vishing and social engineering techniques, which can be used in romance scam as well, it is pretty clear that, how easy it is to
So,
manipulate people with
anybody that
AI.
wants to grab a copy of this fact sheet, it's going to be posted on our Substack today, later today. So, stay tuned.
Yep. And also hang tight because we are going to be back with the cyber briefing recap where we break down the headlines of the week. But before that, we need to know what the cyber briefing
Stay
truly
ahead of the
is.
cyber curve with real-time alerts, incident reports, and the latest cybersecurity news, all in one streamlined, easy-to-read newsletter. Join more than 20,000 subscribers who rely on cyber briefing, available on LinkedIn, Medium, and now on Substack. Don't wait to protect your digital world. Subscribe today and stay informed with Cyber Briefing by CyberMaterial.
So that was the cyber briefing. You have to subscribe to us on Substack and on LinkedIn because we will inform you about a 360 of everything that is going on, all the updates that you need to know. And Sophie today here is going to break down with me the headlines of the week. So the fake 7 zip site spreads malicious installer.
So this is something that we've been talking about a lot previously. Was with Windwire a
Yeah.
couple of weeks ago. So now they have impersonated the 7-zip, which is a software that you use to zip files to compress for compression, right? For file compression. So what they've done is that they impersonated the website. So they went to a lookalike domain, 7zip.com, instead of using the 7-zip.org, which is the original website. And they modified the installer that is secretly installs the malware in the background, and it doesn't like shout out like danger right away. In fact, it also installs 7-zip normally, so users won't be able to notice that
Exactly.
they have installed a backdoor. But now here's the kicker: once installed, the hidden malicious code turns that person computer into what is called a residential proxy node. So that means that the attacker can route others people internet traffic through the victim's home PC. So before, criminals, they were paying to access residential IP addresses. Now they don't need to. They bypass and they evade detection online just by this like software. So they do it for free. And
Yeah.
this campaign came to light after someone followed a YouTube PC building tutorial that pointed them into the fake profile. I'm
Oh
sorry,
no.
the fake site instead of the real one. And that's where they found out that most of these users are funneling like users to go to malicious domains to download legitimate software
Mm.
with backdoors. So now if you have fallen victim of this, just uninstall a zip file and do a fresh restart of your computer. This mostly affected Windows users, so if you were using a Mac, it was not done for Mac users
Okay.
yet. I don't know.
And
It hasn't been no cases about that.
yet, so no one knows. And also a quick caution before getting anything from YouTube, and you are watching a video and you download something, be careful of what you're downloading, be careful of where the person is leading you to. You should always just look for it by yourself before clicking on the link. Now for the second incident that happened, BridgePay confirmed a ransomware attack this week.
So, Bridge Pay, if you don't know exactly what it is about, it's a network solution. It's a U.S. payment gateway provider
Mm-hmm.
that thousands of business, cities, utilities, and other systems rely to process credit card and debit card transactions. And it has fallen victim of a ransomware attack that knocked the systems online. So it wasn't just like a small outage. It turned out to be a nationwide disruption that prevented merchants and public sector's customers from accepting electronic payments, and many had to revert like to cash only transaction until they were able to restore the service. This is acts exactly like Square payments, and it's like the alternative option for that. And the incident actually started last Friday when key parts of Bridge Pay infrastructure they went down. Within hours of that weekend, Bridge Pay confirmed that the outage was caused by a ransomware attack, and
Mm-hmm.
it forced them to take offline all their system. So federal authorities are like the FBI and the U.S. Secret Service forensic team. They have been brought in to assist with the investigation and recovery, and they haven't made public who was the ransomware group. associated with the attack, so there's not much information. And it looks like initial forensic findings suggest that payment card data was not compromised. So,
Mm-hmm.
although this is a very recent ransomware attack, the threat actors, they were able to access encrypted files. So we don't know the extent of what type of evidence was stolen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for the last news, it is something about the Gamers Haven platform Discord. Discord backlash over 8 checks, and
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about this. So, what are your thoughts on this, Sophie?
Yeah, this is really close to our hearts, right? The gamers. So,
Yeah.
we know, like, for those who don't know, Discord is a very popular messaging community platform, mostly used by gamers. And they just announced last week they are rolling out a global age verification system that will require some users to verify their age before using certain services from their platform. Like, for example,
Mm-hmm.
like internal chats or specific bots designed for the platform. Now, in practical terms, what it means is like all the accounts on Discord, they will default to teen appropriate experience if they are not verified, and users may be restricted from age restricted servers. So if you have a server on Discord that you put is 18 plus or 21 plus, and anyone that is not verified on Discord, they won't be able to access those services.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this age verification may involve like either like AI-based age estimation, for example, video selfies of yourself, or uploading a government ID. Although
Yeah.
Discord says that most adults won't need this manual check because its AI model will be able to get their age from their interactions and their face.
Mm-hmm.
However, there may be some cases that you still have to verify that because you may not upload your picture to Discord, or even like you may not even interact that much. Now, the rollout is set to begin on March 2026. Discord says that this change is aimed at keeping younger users safe, but at
Yeah.
the same time, there has been a lot of like backlash, I can say, because
Yeah.
people are concerned about privacy and personal data risk. We know many Discord users feel like providing biometric data like face scans or government ID will expose them to identity theft or misuse. Especially, we know that Discord has been like a victim of data breaches, recent data breaches by a third party vendor that were actually.
Yeah. Discord.io.
Yes, they were actually providing age verification. So it's a little bit like people are still a little bit skeptical. However, they say that the face scans are not going to be like stored anywhere. They say that the government ID will be once uploaded and age is confirmed, it's going to be deleted. But
Uh-huh.
again, we need to rely on what they say. So if there's going to be a breach, we don't know exactly like what is going to happen. And they say that they are not using that vendor anymore, that they suffered the data breach.
Yeah.
No, anybody is exposed to anything on the internet. So it's a little bit hard to uh, to trust them.
Yes.
So I know like longtime members like myself also they have threatened to leave the platform, or actually like finding alternatives to Discord right now
Yep.
because of this. So I feel you guys. I'm on your side here because we haven't had a lot of like assurance from those companies that our identities are not going to be
And
like.
we've seen many cases like this where IDs have been leaked, personal information have been leaked after we trust them with that detail. And for those of you watching us, these headlines, we just picked the three, and there are many more. All you have to do is subscribe to our cyber briefing to get the rundown of everything that is happening in cybersecurity. You can scan the QR code to join the cyber briefing newsletter on LinkedIn or on Substack, and you'll get the stories, insights, and updates straight to your inbox. And before we do the final ending, a quick wrap up about the Echo Party. The call to action is here, and all you need to do is submit your papers. The deadlines are coming up soon. And also to announce, pursuing a degree in cybersecurity on 19th of February is our next Ask Me Anything Cyber event, and we are very happy to be hosting it. So do join us and make sure you show up and leave your questions as usual. See you on 19th Feb.
Bye. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for our next Ask Me Anything Cyber, a fun, interactive weekly event for everything cybersecurity. Join us every week at noon Eastern Time for another high-energy recap of the week's biggest cyber stories. From data breaches and threat intel to major legal updates. Whether it's a high-profile hack, a new APT on the rise, or a must-attend summit, we've got it covered. But that's not all. We'll also break down the latest job market trends, share our thoughts on cyber stocks, and give you actionable insights to stay ahead. And of course, we wrap things up with what makes this show special, live Q&A with you. Have a question about a breach? Want to know how a threat works? Curious about getting started in cyber? Let us know and we'll answer it live. See you next week.